This is not a drill. In a move that has stunned African military analysts and sent quiet panic through diplomatic back channels, Ugandan forces have launched what officials are calling a limited regional security operation. And Burkina Faso is suddenly at the center of it. What happened in the early hours of this morning is being deliberately downplayed by official statements. But make no mistake, this is the most serious external military pressure Burkina Faso has faced since Ibrahim Traoré took power. And if you think this is about border security or counterterrorism, you're not seeing the full picture yet. Stay with us, because what unfolded just after 4:30 a.m. East Africa time could reshape power dynamics across the Sahel and expose how modern wars are no longer declared, but quietly activated. For those just joining us, here's what we know so far. Uganda's People's Defense Force confirmed the deployment of mechanized units and aerial surveillance assets under the justification of a regional stabilization mission. Officially, the operation is aimed at armed non-state actors. Unofficially, Burkina Faso's intelligence services say this operation aligns far too closely with pressure points around Traoré's government to be coincidence, and that's where this story turns explosive. President Ibrahim Traoré, the free 6-year-old leader who has openly rejected Western military presence, expelled French forces, nationalized strategic resources, and aligned with non-Western partners, has become a problem that no amount of sanctions or media pressure has been able to solve. And so now the tactics are changing. According to security briefings leaked to regional media, Ugandan units began coordinated maneuvers near transit corridors used by Burkinabe supply networks. These are not random locations. These are logistical arteries. Cut the arteries, and you weaken the body without firing a single shot. African defense analysts are asking the uncomfortable question out loud: why Uganda? Why now? Uganda has long been positioned as a reliable security partner within Western-aligned military frameworks on the continent. It receives training, funding, and intelligence cooperation from NATO-linked partners under the banner of counterterrorism. But critics argue that this relationship has quietly transformed Uganda into something else entirely, a regional enforcement tool used when direct Western involvement would be too politically costly. And if that's true, then Burkina Faso isn't facing Uganda alone. It's facing a proxy maneuver designed to test Traoré's red lines. At exactly 11:12 a.m. in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso's transitional government released a statement that was short, controlled, and chilling in its restraint. It accused unnamed actors of attempting to internationalize instability and warned that any violation of Burkina Faso's sovereignty would be met with consequences beyond expectations. No names were mentioned. None were needed. Behind closed doors, sources within ECOWAS describe emergency consultations that border on panic. Member states are split. Some see Uganda's move as preventative security. Others see it as the opening move of a regional containment strategy aimed squarely at Traoré. And then there's the part no one wants to talk about. Satellite imagery reviewed by independent analysts shows that Ugandan deployments coincide with areas where Burkina Faso has recently expanded military cooperation with non-Western partners. Training facilities, supply depots, and communications hubs. This isn't coincidence. This is pressure mapping. Dr. Salif Kouyaté, a West African security scholar, put it bluntly: this is how modern regime pressure works. You don't invade, you surround, destabilize, and wait for fractures. Let's bring this down to the human level, because while governments play chess, ordinary people feel the shockwaves first. In eastern Burkina Faso, villages near transit routes woke up to rumors of troop movements and road closures. Markets shut down. Families pulled children out of school. Mobile networks went silent in some areas. A local teacher told our correspondent, "We don't know who is coming or why. We only know that whenever foreign soldiers move nearby, suffering follows." That fear is not irrational. History has trained it. Meanwhile, international reactions are carefully worded and deeply revealing. Western embassies have urged restraint on all sides without condemning the operation. The African Union has called for dialogue while avoiding any mention of sovereignty violations. Translation: no one wants to pick a side too early. In a closed meeting with senior military officials late this afternoon, sources say the president made his position unmistakably clear. Burkina Faso will not be intimidated, outsourced, or encircled into submission. And here's the part that should make global strategists nervous. Burkina Faso is no longer isolated the way it once was. Its military doctrine has changed, and its alliances have diversified, and its leadership has already proven it is willing to absorb pressure rather than surrender autonomy. If this operation escalates, even accidentally, it risks igniting a chain reaction across the Sahel, drawing in allies, rivals, and powers that have been quietly positioning themselves for exactly this kind of confrontation. So this isn't just about Uganda, and it's not just about Burkina Faso. It's about whether independent African governance is still tolerated when it stops aligning with inherited power structures. President Tracker reportedly told his inner circle something that hasn't yet reached official transcripts. They tried loans, they tried sanctions, they tried silence. Now they try shadows. We are still here. As of tonight, Ugandan forces remain deployed. Burkina Faso's military is on heightened alert, and the rest of the world is watching, pretending this is routine while knowing it isn't. So I'll leave you with the real question. What happens when sovereignty is tested not with invasion, but with quiet military pressure? And how many nations will be next if Burkina Faso refuses to bend? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this with anyone who still believes global power shifts happen openly. And subscribe because this story is unfolding in real time, and the next move may already be in motion.